Welcome everybody to the South Hockey Network live on YouTube, live from Compton Family Ice Arena on the campus of the University of Notre Dame as our coverage continues of the 2025-26 Hoosier Cup hosted by PA Hockey here in South Bend, Indiana. My name is Dylan Ward alongside our technical engineer Gerard Boris, also on camera today. We've got our second of 5 consecutive games here live for you from the Hoosier Cup. This one features the St. Joseph's Huskies out of Indiana and the Calvert Hall Cardinals out of Maryland. Just about ready for the opening face-off. St. Joseph's Huskies wearing the white and light blue, whereas Calvert Hall is wearing the red jerseys. We are underway here from Lefty Smith Rink here at Notre Dame. Here's a quick shot, that one stopped. Calvert Hall's starting goaltender is Braden Jones, the senior, number 33. Whereas for St. Joe's, it appears to be number 51, Ronan Shire, the freshman. So the freshman goaltender gets the nod here in Game 3 for St. Joe's. Calvert Hall already mathematically eliminated from the tournament after an 0-2 record. They lost 5-2 to Jesuit Dallas and 3-0 to North Allegheny out of Pennsylvania. Whereas St. Joseph's is playing for their lives. They lost their first game 1-0 to Providence Catholic. Won their second game this morning 7-5 to Jesuit Dallas. And that was an absolute thriller. St. Joe's was up 7-2 at one point. Jesuit Dallas made it all the way back to 7-5, but couldn't get the comeback completion. So St. Joseph's, pending tiebreakers, needs a win to advance here in the tournament. We have an injured player right off the bat in tons of pain as he slaps the ice. And it seems to be a pretty bad injury to his leg. And he looks to be in some severe pain. Just 1 minute and 8 seconds into this one. And he's gonna be looked at. A pretty ugly looking injury. We won't show you the replay on it, but man, just a tough sight to see. We did just get started, but we'll take a quick break here on the South Hockey Network while he looks to recover and is taken off the ice. Ladies and gentlemen, returning to the broadcast with an update. The player injured, who we still have not identified yet, from St. Joe's, still laying down on the ice. And the referee has just skated back to the Calvert Hall Cardinals bench, indicating them that this could take a while. So go back to the locker room while things get sorted out. Pretty bad lower body injury. If you really want to, you can go back and look at it again to see exactly what happened. But we're going to be delayed for a little while here. We're just sending our best wishes to the injured player from St. Joe's. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the South Hockey Network here from South Bend, Indiana at Compton Family Ice Arena. The injured player for the St. Joseph's Huskies was Marco Zielinski, a senior forward, as he has been helped out by the medical staff here on site and put in a wheelchair after suffering a lower body injury. It's a tough one because it was a clean hit into the boards, just sort of a freak accident. Unintended. And to happen just a minute, 8 seconds into the game is always tough. But he's being wheelchaired off. And we just send our best wishes and prayers to him and his family. And, you know, as a senior, it's a tough one, but the game will go on here at the Hoosier Cup. The referees are allowing both teams some time to warm up here after an extended break without pucks. And just a chilling sight here. You could hear a pin drop at Compton Family Ice Arena, but it's time to get back underway, and we just hope Marco Zielinski will be okay. Puck drop will be in neutral ice. Just so everyone knows, they are not counting shots on goal here at the tournament. That's why it reads 0-0 on your screen in terms of shots. And we're going to resume this game with a neutral zone faceoff near side. St. Joe's attacking half. And we'll see how the boys from both of these sides respond to a tough visual and just a horrible thing that has happened here at this tournament. Again, completely by accident. No penalty on the play, and I don't think there should have been. Hockey is a full contact sport, ladies and gentlemen, and it can be dangerous at times, as can any sport, really. But we're ready to resume play. Neutral zone draw is won back by the Calvert Hall Cardinals. And we have resumed action here at Compton Family Ice Arena in South Bend, Indiana. Here's a centering pass and a quick shot, that one wide of the net. Rebound to the near side corner. Collins goes low slot. It's knocked out to neutral ice by Calvert Hall. Here comes Oliver Hicks leading a 2-on-1. He slides it over just out of the reach of his man coming down the right wing. If you were with us for the last game, we had a mystery player, number 3, on the Saints. We have a mystery player on the Cardinals as well. Number 2 is not on my roster. As a matter of fact, he is. Ronan Evans, forward, senior. I was looking at the wrong roster. That would explain why. Played below the net for Evans. Now it's Connor McCluskey. Coming up high. They can't clear it out. Here's a shot, that one wide. Rebound taken by St. Joseph's. They try and clear it out. It's kept alive by Mikey Tanton. Tanton, the captain, number 10, in red. Now Aiden Twoley takes a shot. That one stopped by the netminder, Shire. Back up high, down to the slot. This one tipped on net by Rocco Malandro, but wouldn't go either. Now they'll try and play it outside the zone. It's kept alive at the blue line. Glove down by Liam Jurgs. Jurgs right circle centered it. Here's a shot and a save made by Shire. Out to neutral ice it goes. Now played back. This one sent to the far side corner. As St. Joe's looks for a centering pass, here's a quick shot, and that one wouldn't go. Just to remind you, if you weren't with us earlier, the Calvert Hall Cardinals mathematically eliminated from this tournament. You know, they're not mailing this one in. Boys at this age, they want to win every game, no matter what the stakes are. Meanwhile, St. Joseph's currently 1-1. They lost 1-0 to Providence Catholic of Illinois, and they won 7-5 this morning against the Jesuit Dallas Rangers in a thriller, which saw 12 goals. So as it stands right now, they have 5 points per period, which is the tiebreaker. The way this tournament works is all the teams are in one big standings. There's no divisions or groups. So it's just the top 4 teams in terms of record and then tiebreakers, and that points per period is the tiebreaker. So St. Joe's will need a win, otherwise they're eliminated. But even if they do win, they will not know their fate until later tonight when everything shakes out. Here's Gerard dumping it in down the left wing side. Goes below the goal line and picked up by Eli Carberry. Now Malandro. Taken back. Evan Marler. Grabbed away by Calvert Hall. Carberry. Out to neutral ice and regained by Clark as he'll backhand this one in. Off the glove of Kimizewski. Now here's a quick shot that wouldn't go. Stick down below the goal line. One hand on the stick of Ruse as he deflected that one deep. Not even 5 minutes have gone by here in this one, as we stay scoreless early on. Out to neutral ice. This one brought over the line, but Collins swoops in there to take it back for St. Joe's. Now to the near side. Bozek plays it out to neutral ice. Beatty will dump it in down the left wing side. Picked up below the goal line by Carberry. Out to neutral ice again and flicked in. Grabbing it first is Mikey Tanton. Now J.J. Price off the near boards and picked up by Poltrek. Poltrek over the line, takes a shot, blockered away by Shire. Now the other way comes Kane as he brings this one ahead. Down the right wing side. Dump back down the other way. Puck high in the air. And brought back up ice by Edmond. He gets around the defense. Edmond centers it. Here's a one-time attempt, but that one in his skates. And Calvert Hall will send it back out through neutral ice. 2025-2026 Hoosier Cup, 10th annual edition of this great tournament, hosted in South Bend, Indiana. A man's tripped up. It's not called a penalty. Judd puts his hands up, wondering why. To be honest with you, it looked pretty textbook from up here. Edmond now leads the rush up ice. He's over the blue line, gets around the D, takes a shot, and a save made. And covering up the rebound was Braden Jones. That was, you might call that a dipsy doodle. As he just sliced his way through the defense like a hot knife through butter. But the shot was saved, and we stay 0-0. Shots on goal are not 0-0, but they are on the scoreboard here at Notre Dame. So unfortunately, we will not be bringing you shots on goal here throughout this tournament. Maybe for the semifinal and championship, we'll have someone down there doing shots. This one played back down into St. Joseph's end. Hicks will dump it in with a backhand, picked back up by Donaldson. Near side for Evans. Now brought up ice by McCluskey. Over the line on side, knocked out of the zone into neutral ice. Nearly touched offside, but it will not go. Now back the other way comes St. Joe's. Here's a shot, that one deflected aside. Clark is taken down. They'll call that one a trip. And that's going to send the Huskies to the power play. Pretty textbook call and an easy one for the official. Right there. So it's going to be a power play as Connor McCluskey, the forward junior, is sent to the penalty box, and Off to the man advantage goes St. Joe's. We'll see if they can break the ice here. If you're joining us late, St. Joseph's player was removed from this game due to a pretty severe injury. That was Marco Zielinski. So they're playing without him tonight, and at this point playing for him. Here's a centering pass. That one stopped, and they score! Not sure if that trickled through the goaltender or was punched home on a follow-up. But leading the line back to the handshake is Sam Frick, and it's 1-0 on the power play goal. So you can see the shot, well, below the goal line, set in front. Looked like it was stopped. I think that did just trickle over the goal line after it appeared as though the save was made by Jones. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. So St. Joseph's playing to keep themselves alive here in the tournament. Get the icebreaker from Compton Family Ice Arena. And we'll see how Calvert Hall responds. Here's a quick shot entering the zone off the stick of Braden Taylor, but that's stopped by Shire. Now the other way comes Edmond. He's got a burst of speed, looks for a centering pass, gets it over, but unable to get a backhander up was Sam Frick. Now dumped in by Edmond. Regained by Calvert Hall below the goal line. Cardinals bring it up ice. Collins swoops in there to take it away for the Huskies. Now out to Kane, who deflects it down. Mikey Tanton. Now McCluskey takes a lap behind his own net. Tries to exit the zone, but St. Joe's keeps it in there just for a moment. Now it's brought out. And St. Joe's brings it right back in, delayed offside. And unable to tag up there was Zach Collins. So we get a whistle, 6:37 to go here in the first period. 1-0 St. Joe on the power play goal by Sam Frick. We've got a chat. Caffey Ice says hi. Hello, Caffey Ice. You're one of our biggest fans here on the South Hockey Network. Doesn't matter what game we're showing, Glenbrook South or not. You always seem to find your way to our broadcasts. We encourage all of you at home to use the live chat feature. And we love to interact with you, of course, watching at home. That's what we do this for. So give us your thoughts on the game, maybe any questions you may have about the tournament. And we'll try our best to answer as many as we can, as long as they stay appropriate, of course. We'll throw them up on the big screen as well. This one not out of the zone, kept alive by Tanton as he fires it down, rings around the boards to the right wing, and now it's Price. Goes down to Ivins. Back up to the left point. What a move there, a dipsy doodle. Here's a shot and a save made by Shire. Now Kane looking to clear the zone. He can't get it out left point. It's sent back deep. We also encourage you to please subscribe if you're enjoying the broadcast. It really helps us out a lot. We're going for our next milestone, which is 2,000 subscribers. You have to make sure you subscribe in order to access all features here on the South Hockey Network. It's free. Klasinski over to the right side, and it's sent into the zone. Down to the circle. Here's a shot deflected on net, and the save is made. The puck was rolling towards the goal line, and that one's kept out by the skate of one of the defensemen. Oh my. Nearly 2-0. We'll take a look at the goal cam replay on that one, but I'd say 3/4 of the time that is a goal. By the way, that puck had eyes for the back of the net. Down to 4.5 to go. Clark through neutral ice. He's over the line, chasing after that puck. Down to the near far side corner, I should say. Now this one kicked away again. Brought out by Calvert Hall. It's Brady Murillo. And now we get a chance to take a look at that replay. Shot from the right circle. Deflected, and then on the follow-up, look at that. That thing is rolling on its way over the goal line and getting his skate in the way to prevent the goal was the captain, Mikey Tanton. So we stay at 1-0 here between these two schools from Indiana and Maryland. Sent out to the neutral zone. That one just past Frick. Edmond chases after it. He looked to center it. Sent off the near boards, but not out. Gerard looking for the puck. I'm just kidding. Gerard's great at following the puck on camera. Gerard Boris, our technical engineer today. My name's Dylan Ward, saying glad you found your way to the South Hockey Network to watch some Hoosier Cup hockey live from South Bend, Indiana. 3:40 to go in the first period of this one. The Huskies up 1-0 on the Calvert Hall Cardinals. Edmond will go against McCluskey on the faceoff. Puck falls, and it's won by Calvert Hall. On the near side, they get it up to Ronan Ivins. He will dump it in, bounces off the near corner, and rolls all the way to the left point. Left wing, I should say. Now cleared out. Not quite, actually, as getting in the way of that was Carberry. Had he not blocked that from coming outside the zone, one of the St. Joe's players would have had a clear-cut breakaway. Now Edmond gets it ahead. This one centered. Edmond shoots and scores! What a give and go there. And getting on the board for the second time is the St. Joe's Huskies. And that makes it a 2-0 game with 3:07 to go here in the first period. Nice pass back. And sent right on net. Past the goaltender. And a good start for St. Joe's, who's fighting to keep their tournament alive here in their third and final game. Mikey Tanton gets it back. Now goes out to neutral ice, and it's brought ahead by Liam Jergs. He leaves it. Now Milano. Below the goal line. Picked back up by Gutton of St. Joseph's. Up to Beatty. Beatty out to neutral ice for Kane. What a pass, finds Collins. He's taken down, and it's not called a penalty. I do believe that was a clean play. I think he might have just fallen on his own. Now to neutral ice, a big collision in the neutral zone while it's brought back ahead. Here's a shot. That one again by Tanton, and it wouldn't go. Coming back to grab it is Braden Taylor. Now Ryan Steesey. Lindhairs gets it back to the captain, Mikey Tanton. Now it's dumped in. Chased after by Gutton. And tipped out of the zone. Nice touch pass. And it goes to Marler. He takes a shot, stop, rebound. Looking for the follow-up off the left pad save with the backhand, but no luck. Now here's a quick shot from a loose puck. That one wide of the net. Under 90 seconds to go here in the first period. St. Joseph's Huskies up 2-0 on the Calvert Hall Cardinals. Here on NCAA ice. Oliver Hicks sends it down. Ben Clark goes to Cooper Ruse. Grabbed back by the Cardinals. Cooper Donaldson looking to clear the zone for Calvert Hall. They will get it beyond the blue line out to neutral ice, and St. Joe's has to tag up. Looks like Jeff Morrow has made his way back to the broadcast booth. Jeff, welcome back, as we've got a 2-0 lead for St. Joe's.
St. Joe's, one of those two teams vying for a spot and we're going to tell you some updates on the scenarios here.
All right, 30 seconds to go in the first period. Calvert Hall looking to get on the board. They can't get over the blue line. And this one's brought back ahead by Klonsky. Now Edmond fires a shot, that one blocked below the goal line. 17 seconds remain here in period number 1. Sent down low again for Edmond. He sidesteps one. As Gerard has it, takes a shot, and they score. It's Judd on the deflection on the shot from Gerard. Pardon me, Carter Jew, the freshman, or the forward junior, gets the goal. And St. Joe's with 4.7 makes it 3-0 here in the first period.
Well, I'll tell you the importance to this game for St. Joe's. It's confidence. They're coming off some tough, I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. They're coming off some tough league losses that they had. And Chris Cleveland shared with me that they've been trouble scoring. And they found 7 goals in the first game today and then 3 here in the second game. Dylan, I'm going to do something real quick here with Ray Travato. So if you
go right ahead,
sharing the headset. And Gerard, you don't need to turn around and put us. You could just, we'll just mic in the interview. I'm here with Ray Travato from Central Catholic of Pittsburgh High School, special player. Ray, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So you have a history with Central Catholic. Your father was a player. I brought out the program from 1984. That's a long time ago, brother.
Very, very long time.
The old man's getting old.
Yeah.
We found a great picture, and I don't know if, Gerard, we could get you to get this on TV for us. The team picture for the 1984 Central Catholic team. And in the first row is Dad.
Yeah.
We're gonna show. I can't see it, but Gerard's providing the antics here. Did you know the old man played hockey?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. And what kind of? He's a referee.
Yeah, he refs
And
now.
he coached the middle school team. So we want to thank Tony for his service. Really, I've known Tony a long time. Fine referee. An even better person. Your mom, Pam's here with you. She drove you out. How was the drive out to South Bend?
You know, it was pretty easy, I'd say. Pretty straight. So.
She's a good driver.
Yeah. Well, I drove 3 hours of it. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the truth comes out. But we're gonna let Dylan jump on the play-by-play once we're done with the interviews here. We'll do the interviews for a couple minutes, and then we'll jump back in. Ray. Your grandfather, Ray,
Yes.
was a football coach.
Yes, he was.
At Stowe Rocks High School, Coach Chuck Fusina, who played at Penn State on a national championship team.
Mm-hmm.
And I've met Ray on several occasions, and it's great. You come from an athletic family. Mom was a cheerleader at Stowe Rocks. I know some mutual friends of them. And what's it like to play for Central Catholic? Fun school?
You know, very fun school, and it's just an honor to be able to go to their school and play hockey because, you know, coming from a athletic family that, you know, has graduated from Central and has a legacy from there, it's just an honor to go there and be able to play a sport that I love. So,
what would you like to share? You played with many of these guys, your teammates, growing up at Central, that didn't make it out here, that maybe had some other commitments. What would you share with them about your experience here at Notre Dame and with some of your other classmates?
I would just say it's been a blast so far. So much fun getting out to be able to play on these beautiful rinks, especially to experience the Notre Dame atmosphere. Beautiful campus, beautiful rink especially. You know, it's just a very cool experience to be able to come out here and have a good time.
Less than an hour, you're going to be skating on the Lefty Smith Arena. We got the chance to see Notre Dame play last night.
Mm-hmm.
What were your takeaway from that? 12 NHL draft choices on the ice.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy how far hockey has come. Such a energetic game. A lot of good plays happen. You know, it's just such a cool atmosphere to be able to experience, and I would 100% come back to a Notre Dame game, that's for sure.
Well, we want to thank you, Ray. We want to wish you the best of luck the rest of the season. You got a Penguin Cup to win. The guy to your right, or your left, not right, right's me.
Yeah.
Left is Tony Rako, who's going to step in and talk to us here for a moment. But he's here, and you have nothing good ahead for the Central program, nothing but good with Tony at the helm. And I wish you the best of luck the rest of the season. Go get a Vikings.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks to you, Ray. Tremendous job. And we're cutting Dylan's playing time here a little bit, but Anthony Rako's joined us, and Anthony, folks that don't know, was 13 years at Seneca Valley, a Penguin Cup in 2018, many trips to the Penguin Cup final. Welcome, Anthony.
Thanks for having us.
So you brought your team out here, and you brought Seneca Valley here a few years ago. What do you think of the experience for the kids here?
I think the biggest thing, you bring your teams out here, and you get to play different schools from different locations and teams that you're not always playing against. But the thing is you want to bring your guys out here to get some team building. And we were lucky enough to be able to go to the Notre Dame D1 game last night, so it was just a really good time to come out here to Notre Dame. And a lot of the kids went to go tour the school on Friday, so it was just a good weekend for us to get away and spend some time together.
So one of the things that I really think of you, Anthony, I think first and foremost is what you were able to do at Seneca Valley and building a great program. They got it over the top with the state championship last year, but most importantly, the grade school and middle school and junior varsity programs, already your handprints on Central Catholic. How's that going?
It's good. I mean, the thing that we want to do here at Central is we want to try to create a pipeline. Getting the interest to be a little bit higher. We're in the process of starting a little Vikes program, getting kids from Catholic schools out. So hopefully that increases our numbers at middle school, and then hopefully that transitions to more kids enrolling into the high school and coming to the hockey program.
Yeah, and what do we want to do at this time? I'd like to thank the Central Catholic School. You've taken an interest. You hired a super gentleman in Anthony Rako. I wish you the best of luck. Anything I could do to help your program, if I could do it, I will. And we're gonna see how that goes the next few years. I think you're on the right track. I do.
Yeah.
I think you have a juggernaut to deal with in the PIHL this year, but there's many schools trying to deal with that juggernaut, and ironically, it's one that you built.
Yeah.
So, but we don't want to take any credit away from Tyler, because Tyler's done a great job with Seneca Valley.
Yeah. I mean, the parity in AAA is really high, and kudos to Seneca Valley and their success, especially last season and what they've been doing this year. But we're feeling that the way our season's going, that we can play with them, and as long as we want to try to get better every day that we touch the ice, and who knows what holds for us down the road.
Yeah, and all you Central guys that did make it out here, plan on coming next year. If you're an underclassman, if you seniors didn't get to come, you got the rest of your season. We want to wish Central the best of luck in their plight for the Penguin Cup this year, and enjoy your stay here at Notre Dame. Thanks for coming out, and we certainly appreciate your effort.
Yeah, thanks for having us, and thanks for putting this together, Jeff. This is just great for the kids.
Okay. We're going to try to get Dylan. Dylan, if we could get you back on the call here. We'd like to thank Anthony Rako and Ray Travato for their kindness. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Good luck.
Yep, thanks guys for coming on.
That was kind of fun. We didn't miss any goals, did we, Dylan?
I don't think so, not by my count. I wasn't able to hear what you guys were talking about in real time, but it sounded like you had a nice conversation.
Well, basically about the Central program. Central's been in business since 1973. Anthony's a builder. He'll build a middle school and grade school programs at Central, as we discussed, and he's already got his handprints all over the Central team this year. They're currently sitting in second or third place in the PIHL, which is a very competitive division. So back to the call. Dylan Ward, thank you for letting us steal your thunder for a little bit.
Of course. You hanging out for a bit, Jeff?
Yeah, let's take this one home here.
All right, well, I know you were going to talk about scenarios. I understand that Calvert Hall is already eliminated from the tournament, unfortunately for them, but St. Joseph's, they need a win just to keep themselves alive. If they lose, they're out. If they win, they have a chance, but they have to wait for results later on today.
That's right. And here's the long and short of it. The long and short of it is DeMatha, which defeated Calvert today, is 2-0. And St. Edwards, that beat Central today 5-2. They're 2-0. So they are automatically, right now, one of those two teams is going to finish 3-0 and they're going to move on.
Yeah, so that's a big game.
Yeah. Providence Catholics 2-1.
Roos centers it, and they score on the deflection. It's tapped home on the doorstep. And St. Joe's has made it a 4-0 game here with 9:03 to go in the second.
Well, Chris Cleva right now, he's smiling like a butcher's dog, as Mike Lang used to say. Here comes the replay. Good play. Again, from the inside the middle of the circles. Boom.
We're going to get a great look on the goal cam as well. And the Huskies feeling comfortable right now, up 4-0.
So the next scenario is the 2-1 teams that are involved in the tournament. St. Andrews, which we just called, is now 2-0. If they finish 3-0, they advance. So at least one of the two of those, St. Edwards and DeMatha, are going to advance because they're going to be 3-0.
Right.
St. Andrews, if they win, will be 3-0. Providence Catholic is 2-1. They have
so they're done with their games that count.
Yes. So they're going to want to knock North Allegheny.
Did you say 2-0-1?
Yeah.
So they lost in overtime.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's a huge point in the standings.
Huge point in the standing.
GBS at the Governor's Cup last year was 2-0-1, and they ended up winning the thing.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be karma? Another Illinois team winning the Governor's Cup here in Indiana. But there could be a scenario where we have two teams at 2-0 and two teams at 2-0-1. And that would knock all the 2-1s out.
And then the 4 top seeds are ranked by their record, and then the points per period tiebreaker if necessary. We'll get the number 1 seed versus the number 4 seed playing here on the main rink. We'll have that game for you on the South Hockey Network. Crashing the net is Edmond, looking for a rebound off the pad, but that is stopped by Braden Jones, the senior netminder.
So it's 20-4 right now, and at 10 o'clock tonight we should have this all figured out. But what I'll tell you is it's important for St. Joe's to keep the pedal to the metal here and win all 5 points.
Well, Jeff, I do have to ask you, as tournament director, we saw a pretty ugly scene here just about a minute into this one. Marco Zielinski left the game with a lower body injury. There was about a 20 or so minute delay. Do you have any update on the young man?
I do not. I did know that the EMT and the scorekeeper were making sure the gentleman was taken care of, and that's about all I know. But I do see our EMT, she's down below here, so I'm sure that the kid was well taken care of.
Well, we're thinking about him as we move along here. Here's a backhand shot taken by J.J. Price, stopped by Shire.
Why we have EMTs here at Compton, they're training, they're trained a little differently than you and I do, and we know nothing about that kind of stuff, but
right.
Michelle and Julie, both from St. Joe's, are absolutely terrific trainers. So
now,
they knew what to do.
Will any measures be taken to counteract the loss of time? Maybe skip the ice cut after the second period?
No, we won't, because we have the ice the rest of the night.
All right, you heard it here from the tournament director himself. Great to have the source of all this information up here in the broadcast booth with me, Dylan Ward, alongside Jeff Morrow.
I thought you were the source, Dylan. Come on.
Well, I'm the source to the viewers at home, but you are my source, right? It's like if, ABC News reports on something, who's their source, right?
Well, they call. Well, George Stephanopoulos calls. Who's he call?
That I don't know the answer
Jonathan Carl or somebody like that. I don't know.
Cafe Ice 7 is still our lone chat in the room. Just a simple hi, all lowercase, 2 letters. Please use our chat feature. We love to interact with all of you watching at home. Any St. Joe's or Calvert Hall fans who have found their way to our stream, we welcome you. If you're a St. Joe's fan, your team in good shape right now, up 4-0, just over halfway through the second period.
I wanted to comment that Chris Cleaver, the coach of St. Joe's, he might want to get a bottle and bottle up this energy for his team the rest of the season, because he's found the goal-scoring touch of this tournament. We had a slight conversation yesterday, and it looks like he's applied some new coaching methods, and he's scoring a lot. I want no credit for this, but Chris has found a way to find some goals in this tournament, and that's great for St. Joe's.
Well, Jeff, a major response in their second game in here in the third, right? They open up the tournament with a 1-0 shutout defeat over Providence Catholic of Illinois. They follow that up by scoring 7 this morning, and they've got 4 on the board just about halfway through the game.
They've got to keep the pedal to the metal, though, because they need all 5 points.
Now this one to the near side corner. They're looking to get it out. Kept alive at the blue line just for a moment. Now cleared out to the neutral zone, and Hicks will cycle back with it. He goes across, and it's Kloninski. Dumped in by Marler now. Behind the goal line, grabbed back by the Cardinals. This one brought up through neutral ice. Calvert Hall looking for their first goal of the game. Just 2 goals scored in the tournament so far. A 5-2 loss to Jesuit Dallas and a 3-0 shutout earlier today versus North Allegheny.
I'm sure Paul Kanzler would like to know what St. Joe's has found, because he only has 2 goals for his team in the tournament.
Right. Here's a shot from way up high. It's stopped and held onto. The referee is making him play it. Nobody was crashing the net. So that's a rule you don't see too often, Jeff, but a lot of officials will call that. We're
so
down
what
to
I'll tell you
5:16
is
to go in the
I
period.
think Chris Cleveland would be happy to share his success after the game today,
Yes.
after he gets all 5 points.
Right. We'll see. Like you said, they came into this game with 5 points per period. So they are in desperate need of all 5. That'll bring their total up to 10 with a 2-1-0 record. Now racing ahead after the puck is one man. It's Frick. He's got a partial break down the left wing side, and a flashy glove save is made on the other end by Braden Jones.
Jones stepped out of the crease. He took away the angle, and he got his glove up and made the save.
You know, Jeff, your goaltending analysis has been superb so far here today in South Bend.
An old goaltender myself back in the day.
I was just about to ask you. Where'd you play?
A long-lost university called Bethany College in West Virginia.
Oh, you played college hockey, huh?
Yes, sir. Never played goalie until then.
No kidding.
It's a really interesting story.
Now, what year was that, 2005?
Oh, jeez.
Here's a shot, and they score.
There,
That
look.
one found a hole and past the goaltender. Sort of a knuckle puck. Fooled Ronan Shire, and Calvert Hall gets their first of the game.
Well, interesting play. The St. Joe's defenseman got his stick down on the puck and deflected it. Unfortunately, it deflected straight up in the air and over the goaltender.
So Calvert Hall not going away quietly. That goal will go to Rocco Melandro, the senior forward, alternate captain for the Cardinals. And Jeff, St. Joe has certainly been dominating this game, but we'll see if that goal can inject some life into this Calvert Hall Cardinals side, who still has plenty of time to make a comeback. Gutton centers it to the slot, picked off, and here comes Calvert Hall. Through neutral ice. That looked close to offside. It's waved off, but sent out to neutral ice anyhow. .350 to go in the second period. Pretty disappointed with all of you watching at home. Still no other chats besides Cafe Ice, who always chats on our South Hockey Network streams. If you want to take a break from Hoosier Cup action at any point. We remind you that the main team we cover, the Glenbrook South Titans, will drop the puck at 5:10 Eastern Time as they take on Loyola Academy. A great game between two top teams in the state of Illinois. That one will be back at home, and we'll have the B team covering the Glenbrook South Titans game today. Because, Jeff, we couldn't miss the Hoosier Cup, so we got some of the dads filling in for me and Gerard.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's an oh boy from us too, but Jason Weiss, Rob Ventura, or Dave Ventura.
I'm sure those gentlemen will do a great job.
I'm sure too. We'll see if the Titans do a good job as well. Here's a shot by Gutton. That goes right to the left side. Here's a shot by Marlar, and holding on to that one is Braden Jones of Calvert Hall.
Well, what you're seeing is the breakdown of Calvert Hall's defense, but what you're also seeing is the player movement without the puck by the St. Joe's players. When St. Joe's doesn't have the puck, they're getting into position in between the circles, and they're moving the puck very quickly.
2:45 to go in the second period. St. Joe's led this game 4-0 before Calvert Hall got on the board most recently. Marlar deflects this one in. Glove down by Brady Murillo. Out to the neutral zone. This is game 2 of our 5-game straight marathon here on this Sunday of action. That looked offside, and there's the late whistle to call it. So, Jeff, later on tonight, and these are tentative times based on the delay we had due to the injured player, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, Central Catholic, who you just talked to, will take on the University School Preppers. At 6:15, North Allegheny plays Providence Catholic, and at 8 p.m., St. Ignatius plays St. Andrews Prep. Now, Jeff, based on the results of the tournament, which of those games is the most pivotal in terms of the standings?
None of them. I think the St. Ed's versus DeMatha game is going to...
Well, let's move that one to rink 1, huh?
We'll have them all play at the same time, and whoever survives wins.
There you go.
But I think the game that I'm most interested in is St. Andrews versus St. Ignatius.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge game for St. Andrews.
Well, St. Ignatius knocks them off and makes them 2-1. It throws a lot of other teams back into the mix.
Right.
And
just to remind you, Providence Catholic's game on this South Hockey Network will not count for or against them, but it will count for North Allegheny.
And North Allegheny is trying to get to 2-1, trying to get to as many points as they can get. In the scenario that DeMatha or St. Edwards loses, that throws another 2-1 team back into the mix. There's just all sorts of possibilities, Dylan.
Well, it's going to become clearer and clearer as we get further into the night. 1:26 to go here in the second period before the teams will head back to the locker room.
We got to get somebody to make a Portillo's run for us. Get some
I don't mind that at all. You got a Portillo's in South Bend?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here's a shot from the left circle. That one blocked on its way and picked back up by Calvert Hall. Here's the goal scorer for them, Rocco Malandro. He leaves it. Now this is Tui. He takes a shot. That one deflected into the far side corner and played out by St. Joseph's. Tucker Poltrak. Now to the neutral zone. The puck pops free. Nix. Now brought across. And stolen away once again. Cooper Donaldson. 40 seconds left here in the second. Backhanded out to the neutral zone. Sent to the near side for Bozek. Can either team find one more goal before the horn sounds? More of a siren here at Compton Family Ice Arena. Still waiting on music, Jeff.
St. Joe's needs to be mindful. They're trying to get as many points as they can, so they need to win the period.
I believe it is 2-1 the period score with 4 seconds left. It looks like it's going to stay that way. And there is the horn to end the second. So 4-1 the score.
Both points the first and second period. and they're in position to win the third period.
Okay, Jeff. Teams will head to the locker rooms. We'll take a timeout as well. Don't go anywhere. 15 minutes is a lot of time to come back from down 3 goals. We'll see if Calvert Hall can do it as they're trying to play spoiler against St. Joseph's Huskies. We'll see you in about 10-15 minutes or so right here on the South Hockey Network. Welcome back to the South Hockey Network, everybody. The St. Joseph's Huskies have a 4-1 lead over Calvert Hall Cardinals as we have 15 minutes to go in the third period. Alongside our technical engineer, Gerard Boris, my name is Dylan Ward, joined by my color commentator for this one, Jeff Morrow, who also happens to be the tournament director. Jeff, before we get started here in the third period, we were having a bit of a discussion about the Zamboni. We talked about it a little bit in the first game, but kind of a unique feature here at Compton Family Ice Arena. Why don't you tell the people all about it?
Well, on the Zamboni, there is a pole that sticks protrudely at the back of the thing, the back of the Zamboni.
Protrudely, huh? Nice word.
It's so noticeable anybody can notice it. But what that does is it communicates to the back office, in layman's terms, and the computer generates that it cuts the ice at 1/32 of an inch. So it's perfect ice as far as NHL and NCAA standards for these kids to play on.
Well, you know, that's what makes this tournament so special, right? Is, you know, you could ask any hockey player. The ice is just different when you come to an arena like this that hosts NCAA Division I hockey versus, you know, some of the public facilities around the country. And, you know, you just get a great field of play and a great rink to skate on. And, you know, it's ice, it's all the same dimensions, but you ask any one of these players, they'll tell you they notice a difference.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, when you come here to Notre Dame, the facility, as I said, is second to none. The people here are second to none. It's just a great experience all the way around. And you heard Ray Travato from Central Catholic, what a privilege it was to play here. And we're truly privileged to be able to come here and hold an event. We really are. We want to thank the University of Notre Dame, Mike McNeil, Macaulay McKenna, and all the staff here at Compton. It's just a great experience.
Edward Murphy coming into the chat room saying thank you for the coverage from NJ, which I understand stands for New Jersey. We're ready to get going, man. Your New Jersey Devils are off to a hot start to the year. Hopefully Jack Hughes heals that hand up soon. Third period is underway as Calvert Hall in white and blue shoot from right to left on your screen. And, St. Joe in white and blue shoot from right to left on your screen. And Calvert Hall in the red and orange go from left to right. Calvert Hall already mathematically eliminated from this tournament, having a 0-2 record coming into this one. As for the Huskies, they are 1-1, and if they lose, they're out. If they win, they have to wait for future results here throughout the rest of the day. But, Jeff, because of the points per period tiebreaker, they can't take their foot off the gas. They need to outscore Calvert Hall in this period to put themselves in the best possible position.
Absolutely.
A hit into the far side corner. If you're joining us late, we did have a injury in the first period. Marco Zelensky will not be returning for the St. Joseph Huskies after a lower body injury that delayed the game for about 17 minutes. We are praying that the senior is able to recover swiftly and may get back on the ice later on in the season. Delayed offside. Gerard will grab it. Not to be confused with Gerard Boris, our technical engineer. Number 12 on St. Joseph's, Nick Gerard.
That is the Gerard.
Yeah.
Our Gerard is the Gerard.
That's right.
Let's not mince words here.
We appreciated the chat from Edward Murphy watching at home in New Jersey. We encourage all of you to use the chat function. We'll throw your message up on the big screen. And let us know your thoughts about the game or the tournament. Have any questions? Lucky for you, I've got the tournament director, Jeff Morrow, right to my right-hand side here, ready to answer any questions you at home may have about the 2025-26 Hoosier Cup, currently in a transition season, as this tournament has been held in the month of February for a long time. This is the first time it's held in the month of November, and my understanding, Jeff, is the plan is to keep it in the month of November.
Absolutely, because the leaves change in October, and everybody wants to take a nice drive out to South Bend.
Now, which team here at this tournament has traveled the farthest to be in South Bend, Indiana today?
Well, I think St. Andrews College Prep.
That's the Canadian side,
Yes.
right? Now, where in Canada are they from?
Toronto.
Toronto, okay. Actually, not too bad of a drive if you think about it. Toronto, somewhat close to the United States border.
Down to QEW, on to I-90, and over to Notre Dame.
Well, I know we don't have any St. Andrews fans watching, so I will say it was an absolute pleasure to watch my Chicago Blackhawks take down the Toronto Maple Leafs last night.
Anytime the Maple Leafs are taken down, it's a rite of fall because the Leafs fall and so do the Maple Leafs.
All right, Jeff with a zinger over here.
My Canadian friends, I'm sorry.
Jeff, I hope you get in the color booth with me in Jamestown as well. I'm having a lot of fun broadcasting this game with you.
We got a lot of special guests for Jamestown.
All right. St. Joseph's wins the face-off in their own zone. They'll look to bring it up ice. Out comes Zach Collins. He's over the line, down the right wing side. Collins tripped up or hooked partially by the stick that falls out of the hands of one of the Calvert Hall Cardinals players. No penalty is called. Here's a shot, that one stop, rebound. Here's a shot, and they score! That one ripped home by Brad Kane, the senior forward, and it's 5-1 St. Joe, but more importantly, perhaps, 1-0 in the period.
And again, Dylan, you see in plays from the middle of the ice. If we have a chance to watch a replay, that came from right in between the circles. The young man had his head up, and he looked far side, he buried it.
You know, Jeff, if you want to scooch over a little bit, you can get a much better view of the replay. Just watch out for that cord.
I don't want to get tripped up.
There you go. And now whenever we do have a replay, you'll be able to break it down as such. But St. Joseph's with a huge goal. Remember, points per period tiebreaker. Jeff, if I have this correct, each period is worth 1 point. If you win the period, you get the point. If the period is tied, each team gets half of a point.
Yes, sir.
And then you get 2 points for winning the game as well. And if it goes to overtime, the winner gets 1.5 and the loser gets 0.5. Do I have all that right?
You're on the money, Dylan.
All right. So as it stands.
You're a crafty veteran of these tournaments, Dylan.
Oh, yeah. At this point, I definitely am.
We miss our buddy Sam Schwartz, or we'd have the website updated.
Well, I might be able to help out with that for Jamestown this year. I was meaning to talk to you about that. We'll discuss. But 11 minutes to go in the third period. As it stands right now, St. Joseph's on pace to get all 5 points per period if they can hang on to this score. They had 5 coming into this game, so that would put them up to 10 total, with a best possible scenario of a 2-1-0 record and 10 points per period. Again, with the full league standings format of this tournament, no divisions or groups, you have to wait and see what happens as the chaos unfolds throughout the rest of the night. But here's Calvert Hall looking to respond, and a shot, and a big save made by Ronan Shire. He'll hang on for a whistle. 10:23 to go in the third.
One of the things that we want to talk about, Dylan, is the competition and how the 16-team bracket came about. And if we get a chance, we'll talk and elaborate about that.
Maybe at our next whistle, here's a shot, that one blocked by the Big Ten logo. Right where the old Stanley Cup playoff logo used to be on the NHL ice. Now's Ryan Steezy. Dumped in off the near side corner boards. They'll try and get it out. Being fought for. We talked about which team had the longest drive to get here. I know which team had the shortest drive to get here. The St. Joseph's Huskies, which I am led to believe are based in South Bend, Indiana.
This is their home rink.
They play home games here?
Yep.
No kidding. On the main rink?
Yes, sir.
How about that? So they're very familiar with this Compton Family Ice Arena. Not only that, they're very familiar with the home bench, which they are occupying right now. Boy, how lucky are them to have a facility like this to call their home ice.
There's a psychological advantage of having the home bench, which we talked about. It's 1 foot higher, and it's probably 3 foot higher for St. Joe's right now.
Unique feature of Compton Family Ice Arena, the benches are on opposite sides of one another. But the penalty boxes for both teams are on the side of the home bench, which also gives the designated home team an advantage. This one will be dumped in by Calvert Hall. 5-1 the score here in the third period, 8:40 to go. Cardinals dump it in. Guyton will get to it. He's taken down cleanly, or maybe just tripped up. No penalty was called. And we'll continue on here. This one centered and tipped right on net. Good save made by Ronan Shire, the freshman netminder. Boys, he had a great game as a freshman between the pipes. I know the Governor's Cup last season, Jeff, freshman goaltender won the MVP of the tournament as they battle for the puck on the backside of the netting and finally they'll blow it dead.
Yes, sir. Was he impressive in that run?
Thomas Preston, now a sophomore, has been even better this season.
Wow.
And seems like everyone on the team can agree that he's been the MVP of the team so far as a sophomore.
We're looking forward to seeing the Titans in Jamestown, along with Lake Forest, our friends from Lake Forest.
Yeah, Lake Forest having a great year, one of their best for Illinois high school hockey, with a regular season SHL record of 11-7. Typically been towards the bottom of the league, but as it stands right now, even with that record just 4 games above 500, they are in first place on points, but that's because they've played so many more games than the rest of the league. So we'll see how that evens out. Here's a centering pass and a shot. That nearly looked like it was in from our angle, Jeff, but it hit the side netting. Now from the point, it's held on to by Ronan Shire again.
Shire's made some good saves here. Calvert Hall's tipped the ice a little bit. They've had control. They're pressing for that goal. Good coaching by Paul Kanzler. His team's not going to give up. They're going to give their all.
So 7:37 to go, third period. St. Joe up 5-1 in the game, 1-0 in the period, looking for all 5 points. Another save made by Shire from the point. 7:31 to go in the third. Jeff, my question is, can we get someone to start counting shots on goal?
You're doing a good job, Bill.
Maybe for the semifinal and championship.
We'll see if we can get Bobby V out of his shell.
Okay. Well, Jeff, if you're going to be doing color up here with me for the championship, we're going to need someone to present the trophy.
We can make that happen.
So maybe Bobby V can be down there already. Kleninski taken away, and they're called for offside just barely, but enough. Let's take a look at the replay. That was close. Watch here, I've got it slowed down to 33%. And you can see the puck still in neutral ice, number 17 in red over the line, and just couldn't get that skate back in time.
Excellent work by the officials on that one.
No kidding. You know, for the officials, a lot of these officials, you know, see a lot of the same teams on a nightly basis, but it always must be a challenge during these out-of-town tournaments for an officiating team to come in and see a team they've never seen before as Frick tipped that one just high of the net. And Jeff, what always, you know, impresses me about the officials, whether it be the NHL level or the high school level, is they just do a fantastic job of reading the situation and knowing how to get out of the way of the puck. And yes, you see the puck hit the official and the official, you know, inadvertently getting in the way, but really not as much as you might think. Because hockey, because it's in an enclosed bubble type of situation, unlike football, basketball, baseball, or even soccer, the refs have to stay in bounds the entire game, right? They have no sideline to get out of the way on, so they have to do their best to jump over pucks, get out of the way, in some cases sit on the bench, right?
Well, with these referees, and there's many thoughts and theories about 2 referees, 1 linesman, 4 referees, or 2 referees and 1 linesman.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is they always have a person on the bottom end of the diagonal and the top end of the diagonal. And what I mean is, you see the official down here at center ice, he's the bottom end. And then you see the second one in the bottom right-hand corner. He's and they position themselves so that they can always be facing the play. And having the third official on there, they always are on the opposite side, hopefully, or the non-puck side.
Here's a shot, that one stopped. They try and follow up on the rebound. Now Hicks up high chases it out of the zone. For those of you watching at home who might not be as well acquainted with the sport of hockey, the near turnover there, the linesmen, there's 2 linesmen, and their job is to call icing and offside as well as break up any scrums. That's it. And then the official with the orange band on the sleeve is the referee. And there's just one of them out there. He's in charge of calling goals and penalties. So 2 linesmen, 1 for each half of the rink, and then the referee sort of just follows the play wherever it goes to make sure he spots any potential penalties.
It's a good explanation, Dylan.
There is 1 penalty that the linesman is allowed to call, and that's too many men, because that's easily missable by the 1 referee who might be following the puck. Left point, now down to the circle. Here's a shot, that one deflects high. And Jeff, you know, as a kid, I always thought that the ref with the orange band on his sleeve, I always thought that that was actually a floaty in case the ice melted.
Oh, boy. Now we're going to get into mascots and all that kind of stuff, huh?
We're rambling a bit, but 3:34 remains in this third period, which has actually flown by. And St. Joe's still up 1-0 in the period, looking for every possible point on the tiebreakers they can get as they look to finish this one off with all 5 points per period and a win and give themselves their best possible chance to make the semifinals tomorrow morning. But again, they'll have to wait and figure out what happens in the other games to see their standing. This one brought up ice by Edmond. He goes across, gets it back. Edmond catches up to the puck. He's on a breakaway, shoots, and a big save made by Braden Jones.
Edmond seems to have a different level of his game. I watched yesterday when they were playing Providence. He had several chances to score and got himself in good position. And he seems to be an electric guy on that St. Joseph's team.
What a pass there to set up the breakaway as well. 3 minutes here in period number 3. 5-1 the score in favor of the Huskies. Game number 2 of our 5-game marathon here on this Sunday, November the 16th. Here's Edmond again. Tried to go back to his forehand, but he could not. This time he centers it right in front. Oh, what a save made by the stick of Jones. Wow, playing till the final buzzer sounds. And now this stretch pass out through neutral ice. Melandro, right wing side, sends this one deep below the goal line. Bozak tried to clear it out, but it's kept alive. Here's a shot. That one blocked by Edmond. Boy, Edmond's making plays on both sides of things. Now Edmond collects the puck. He's at the end of a long shift. What a move to get around the defender, but a better play made by Melandro to knock the puck out of the way with the stick, and meanwhile Edmond goes crashing into the net.
So the one thing I wanted to talk about, Dylan, was the 16-team bracket. And
go right ahead.
What the idea is to have good competitive games. So when I went through the schedule, what I was interested in is matchups, matching up team against team. A year ago, we were able to have 14 out of the 21 games, 1 goal, or decided by overtime or shootout. We've been a little less better this year, but we've had some good competitive games here. And it's going to be decided by somebody by a goal or two to win this tournament. There's no question in my mind.
And that first game we broadcasted, St. Mary's versus St. Andrews, was a thriller. St. Mary's led 1-0 after the first period before St. Andrews came back to win it 2-1 in what turned out to be a huge victory for them to make them 2-0.
Yeah, and they're going to be facing a St. Ignatius team that's won this tournament before, that's won a state championship in Ohio. Pat O'Rourke's not coming in here to whistle Dixie. He's coming in here to beat them.
Whistle Dixie, huh?
Nope.
Got to start adding that one to my vocab. We're down to 1:40 here in the third period. St. Joe still leading the period 1-0. Clark intercepts as this one's played out through the neutral zone. Clark comes over the line. He leaves it, but nobody there to retrieve it. And Calvert Hall just enough to get it outside of the zone. Calvert Hall down by 4. Not going to bother pulling their goalie here.
I don't think it'll happen.
You know, at this point, I think you're right.
Calvert Hall's played a good third period. They've had several chances. They just can't beat the freshman netminder.
Absolutely. Ronan Shire, number 51.
And St. Joe's has had several offensive spurts and chances. They've kept the pedal to the metal. Pretty well played third period.
Look out there in the St. Joe's bench. That one goes out of play. This one's all but over, Jeff. The only thing left for St. Joe's is to not allow a goal in these next 39 seconds.
And capture the 5 points and move on to life. But they can spearhead this into momentum the second half of the season to compete for the Indiana, because they've competed well here.
Now Frick chasing after this one as it's passed ahead for him. He catches up to it before it's called icing. Dipsy doodle around 1. Now Jew takes a shot. That one hits the left post. 22 seconds. Out comes Calvert Hall, Eli Carberry. Sent out of play, or into the neutral zone, touched by a high stick. They're playing chicken, and it's actually not called a high stick by the official, or perhaps he just was letting time run out. That'll do it. St. Joe's wins it 5-1, and they have put themselves in the best possible position they could coming into today's game. They collect all 5 points per period. They'll finish with a 2-1-0 record and 10 points per period. As for Calvert Hall, their run at the 2025-26 Hoosier Cup comes to a close.
One thing I want to comment on, I thought that St. Joe's came into this tournament with the right perspective. They put it all on the table. They played a good game against Providence, well-fought 1-0 game, and then came back and scored 7 against Jesuit, and then another 5 here today. They had a heck of a tournament, and as I said, this could spear them on to bigger and better things the second half of the season.
All right, well, don't go anywhere. Please stay tuned. It's going to be a little late, but scheduled for 4:30. But we did have a bit of a delay, so as soon as the Zamboni finishes up, we've got our middle game of our 5-game marathon. Central Catholic Vikings will take on the University School Preppers here on Rink 1 at Compton Family Ice Arena. Jeff, you going to be joining me for that one?
I should be seeing you for the interviews, and we'll see if we can get some color commentator as well.
All right, Jeff, sounds good. So for our entire crew, Jeff Morrow here with me, Gerard Boris, our technical engineer. My name is Dylan Ward, saying one more time the final. St. Joseph's Huskies 5, Calvert Hall Cardinals 1. And as for St. Joe's, again, if you're a St. Joe's fan out there watching, hang tight. Your team might be advancing to the semifinals, but you need some help from some of the other games out there. We'll see you perhaps, and we'll see you for the next game here for our Hoosier Cup coverage.